Yay, we're live. I don't know why I wasn't live there. Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's the That's Football show. It's a live stream. It's Arsenal against Chelsea this Tuesday night. I hope you're all doing very well. Looking forward to this. We can have a look at their table if we want to. I don't do this to take the piss out of Arsenal fans. It is what it is. I don't think even Arsenal fans would be expecting to win this league table now, but there's an opportunity to, I think, continue what has been a very, very good season for Arsenal Football Club. And I think if they could get 80 points, they should be looking to get 80 points with 5 games to go. Maybe even 85 points, which would be tremendous for this Arsenal side. 75 points at the moment. They play Chelsea. We can't even see Chelsea. We can't even see Chelsea on this screen. They've got 39 points. So, it's a big opportunity for Arsenal to win. They go back. It's mad, isn't it? You know, look at that. Such is the dominance and expectation of this juggernaut Man City that Arsenal go back top of the league tonight and still people won't give them a chance because ultimately Man City have got those games in hand. And that's what we expect, isn't it? So, do not forget, tonight we are sponsored by Boohoo Man. You can get 40% off and get fantastic, relaxing clothing wear like this. They do gym wear, they do the works. And you can get 40% off with the code Goldbridge. A fantastic offer, exclusively through ourselves. Links in the description, or you can scan that QR code on your camera phone. 40% off with the code Goldbridge. And just before we start, you may be aware of Boohoo Man from our streams on the United Stand, but they also like to do a little bit of trivia for you. So for those of you who don't understand how it works on United Stand, we're going to do a bit of trivia for you now. All you got to do is guess which current Premier League player I'm talking about from the below clues. So I was born on the 14th of May 1998 in Stoke-on-Trent, England. 1998. I started my professional career at Sheffield United in 2015, but was sold to Bournemouth before I played a single first team game. After playing 37 games for Bournemouth, as well as 2 loan spells, I rejoined Sheffield United for a reported fee of £18.5 million on a 4-year deal. I joined Arsenal in August 2021 for a reported £24 million, and this year I've got 12 clean sheets, which is the 3rd highest in the league behind Nick Pope, 13, and David De Gea with 15. I think we all know who it is now. It's, of course, the Arsenal goalkeeper. He's on my screen right now, Aaron Ramsdale. Congratulations to everyone who guessed that correctly. And don't forget, a big thank you to Boohoo Man for supporting today's Watchalong. You can get a huge 40% off their clothing line on their website, delivered to your door when you use the code Goldbridge at checkout. So what are you waiting for? Head over there and get your discount in. Players are coming out on screen now. Thanks everyone who got involved in the chat. Ramsdale, this is what we do with Boohoo Man. They're always quite interactive with our audience, which I think is a very, very good way to interact. Yes, we're looking good here. We're looking very, very good. Players are out on pitch. Not looked at the team news yet. Will do. Will do. We could have had it all. Right, let's get these team news going round on screen for you. We'll start off with Arsenal. There it is. There's your Arsenal team for tonight. What are your thoughts on the Arsenal team for tonight? I mean, I'm going to go with an Arsenal win. I mean, Chelsea are just ridiculous. Like, they're ridiculous. I almost nearly said I think Arsenal will win 3-0. But it's incredible when you look at the Chelsea side. Why are they getting turned over so much? But first of all, Arsenal. Ramsdale, White. I think is this the Polish guy at number 15 playing at the back with Gabriel and Zinchenko, Odegaard, Jorginho and Xhaka, Saka, Jesus and Trossard, Partey on the bench. Don't know what that's all about really. Martinelli on the bench as well. And then the Chelsea. Ooh, Chelsea. I can't find Chelsea. Let me get the Chelsea team for you. There's the Chelsea team. And they're lining up with Kepa, Azpilicueta, Fofana, Silva, Chilwell, Kante, Fernandes and Kovacic. Madueke's in there, Aubameyang and Sterling. And again, he's put João Felix on the bench, Mudryk on the bench, Ziyech on the bench, Gallagher, Havertz. I mean, just an amazing amount of players that Chelsea have. I'm not saying he's picking the right or the wrong team. I just think they've got the wrong manager. At the end of the day, they've got the wrong manager. Get your questions in tonight. We had some good topics in last night, so get your questions in tonight as per usual. But we're just about to start here. 8 o'clock kickoff. Premier League games again all week. The real whole week. I mean, we've got Man United against Brighton on the United Stand on Thursday night. I think Liverpool are playing Fulham tomorrow. Man City are playing West Ham. I don't know which game's televised. I may do a watch along, I may not. We'll have a look. But yes, get involved. You're very, very welcome on the United. That's football. The United community of That's Football. That's where you're welcome. Thanks everyone tuning in. As ever. Players are about to start. I'm gonna go Arsenal 2-0. That's what I'm gonna go for. That's what I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go Arsenal to win 2-0 here today. They're having their little teamwork, team chat, Arsenal. They've just got to try and keep winning and hope that there's a fall apart from Man City, but ultimately, yeah, it's over, isn't it? I think we all know that. But look, can Chelsea get a first win under Frank Lampard? That's the incredible thing. They brought him in for the feel-good factor. He's been about as useful as a trophy cabinet in North London. Just realised I've offended Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans there. It's a joke. It's a joke. Anyway, we're up and running here. I don't know why it's not on screen. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I don't get how Klopp can get a ban for doing something to the ref, but when a ref straight up elbows a player, it's fine, says Nathan. Nathan, because they're only interested in protecting themselves. Andre Mariner is refereeing Man United against Brighton on Thursday. I don't get how he gets to referee any game with Casemiro in. Lovely ball into Saka here. He's all on his own. Chilwell's covered. It doesn't matter. It's over. There's nothing... Oh, they still got it in the box here, though, Saka. He's still got it. Gets the shot off. Arsenal. Messi has been suspended by PSG because of an unauthorised trip to Saudi Arabia for 2 weeks, according to Romano, says Yannick. He's been hanging around with Ronaldo. They've basically just been playing Monopoly together and chess and just hanging out like a couple of bros. Can you see... I said bros. Can you see next season be as crazy as this one with manager sackings? Also, if Leeds stay up, can you see Allardyce continue the role, says the Beast. Well, I did my video today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. I did my video today about the Sam Allardyce thing. I don't think it's going to work. Will messaged me, actually, who I did football filling with. And he said that for all this talk about Allardyce, he won 4 out of 24 at West Brom when they got relegated. So he hasn't got... Allardyce is living off a bit of a reputation that doesn't exist anymore as well. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to work. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sam. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just need to change this. We are only 20 subscribers away from 947,000. So I'm just about to change this on the screen. But we're only 20 away from 947,000. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. There are no other Premier League games going on tonight. It's just this one tonight. But Arsenal have started off very, very well. Playoffs have already started in the National League. They have to play a lot, don't they? Yeah, please do subscribe to the channel and get involved. You're all very welcome. I think we're building a fantastic community here. We've got so many irons in the fire with this channel as well as we approach, hopefully, 1 million subscribers. I've took the United Stand on tour. We're on tour in Dublin, actually, on June the 6th, end of season. If you want to get tickets, I'll drop the link in the video description in a minute. But I want to do a 1 million show for this somewhere around Christmas, if that's when we hit it. So, yeah, get involved. You're very welcome. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I'm just going to change that. There we go. There we go. Right. My things, oh God, what's this? James says, love your work, Mark. Never miss a show. Authentic and amazing. Never change. Thank you, James. Great video today, Mark. Keeping us updated, says Logan. Thank you very much. Yeah, if you haven't watched the Allardyce video, I quite enjoyed that. That's why I like this channel, because you can just react to general football news, can't you? And then everyone gets to have their say. My 3 things I want from this season. United top 4, Liverpool in 7th, and Leeds relegated, says Rob. yeah, I would rather see Leeds get relegated than anybody else in the bottom there now. To be, if I'm being honest, I've got to be. I mean, look, United and Leeds, Manchester United and Leeds United don't have a great history. I think they dislike us more than we dislike them. The rivalry with Leeds, I was too young for. I mean, I wasn't around in the 70s, so I don't remember that. But I never minded Leeds under Bielsa. I thought they played good football. And even under Jesse March at the start of the season, I thought they played good football. But now they've got Big Sam. I'm like, don't give a shit about them going down, really. Really don't. Cameron Wilson says, oh, great. Why is he allowed to referee a United game when he got Casemiro sent off? I know, Cameron. I know. Oh, goal. What a save by Kepa. What's Aspilicueta doing? Trossard nearly scored. No, it was Xhaka who nearly scored. Arsenal are all over Chelsea at the moment. It's a bit scrappy. But it's a good tempo to this game again. We had this last night between Everton and Leicester, and we've got it tonight. Can you do a Big Sam impression, says Nelly? No. No, I can't. He sort of chews gum like that, doesn't he? But I can't. That's me trying to chewing gum like him. Enzo Fernandez has gone down. Man down. We've got a man down here, and his name is Enzo Fernandez. Didn't actually look bad. Could have been bad, but didn't look that bad. I think it's just the way he landed. But he's down. Arsenal have started off well. Chelsea have started off nervous. We've seen a lot of that this season. Let me know in the chat what you think about who's going to win. There's progress now. Well, there's no progress for them, is there actually? There's no progress for Chelsea. They've not had any progress yet. Back the ball with Ramsdale here. So we've had 6 minutes already. Good tempo, definitely. I mean, Chelsea got the players to get a result. I just don't think anyone thinks they will. Mark, going to the United-Arsenal game in July. Hope you have a show the weekend. Hope you have a show that weekend. Big fan, says Nicholas. Thanks, mate. I think I'm going to be at the Arsenal game. Good interception by Arsenal here. Why does Sterling and Kovacic start every game and do absolutely nothing, says Al? Well, I like Kovacic. Nice play here into Shevchenko down the left-hand side. I like Kovacic, but like a lot of people at Chelsea, I like a lot of their players. I just don't see what they've done. I was thinking about Chelsea earlier on, actually, and I thought, you know what? If their owner wasn't loaded and Chelsea fans didn't know he was going to spend loads of silly money again in the summer, I think there'd be a lot more moaning about him. I mean, when you call it as it is, and look, Chelsea fans will either listen or they won't, but when you call it as it is, look at the squad, look at the spend, and then look at the decisions that have been made by the owner. It's horrific. You know, it's how not to run a football club with money. You had Thomas Tuchel. He got sacked because he wouldn't take any shit. They gave Potter the job, who clearly needed at least 2 years. They didn't even give him 1. And then they brought Lampard back. I mean, it's just absolutely horrific way to run a football club. And yet Chelsea fans are like, oh no, it's all right. He's trying his best. Hi Mark, prediction for Arsenal versus Newcastle, says Shell. When are they playing? Lampard made one and ruined another career at Chelsea, says Sebastian. Another Chelsea player's gone down here. Thiago Silva. Lampard doing a bit of a dance on the side. I thought he was doing YMCA then. He was like, YMCA. YMCA. Probably was. I've got no audio. He's not happy now. No one tuned in. No one joined in. He's got the right amp. I'm doing a bit of a dance on the side here and no one's joining in. They play on Sunday at Newcastle, says Shell. Oh, Newcastle against Arsenal on Sunday. I don't think I can do it as a watch-along because United are playing back in West Ham. 7 o'clock. Can't believe it. Custard hot or cold, says Lee. Come on. You can't have cold custard. Cold custard in a trifle's fine. But I think warm custard on an apple pie. Oh, delectable. I like custard with ice cream. Stu's cruel. He says there's nothing better than seeing Frank Lampard with bags under his eyes going bold. Fantastic. Wow, apparently he used to be a good looking lad. Don't know. Just in case that anybody's interested, I did say I'd put the link in the chat. Some of you might be, especially if you're in the Dublin area. June the 6th, Goldbridge on tour. Big show at Vicar Street. Lovely, fantastic venue. We're going to be live on stage. If you want to get your tickets, links in the live chat there for you. It'd be great to see you there. Yeah, there you go. Links in the chat. Stuart likes hot custard with a skin. I don't like the skin on custard. I used to like pink custard. We used to have pink custard at school with like this cherry shortbread. That was delightful. Here's Shevchenko. Lovely little ball into Xhaka. And that goes for a corner. Have you gone to many Premier League matches, says Curly Kid? What, in my life? I've been to bloody loads, yeah. Not many in recent years, I must admit. Custard and sticky toffee pudding, says Niley. That's making me... I felt, when I said that then, I felt like I got a roll of fat on my stomach. Did I say Shevchenko? I always say Shevchenko. I meant Shevchenko. This season in the Prem is the worst owner management ever. The quality of decisions have been around sackings and appointment have been terrible, says Daniel Shabar. Cross came in from Arsenal, gone for a goal kick. Angel Delight's brilliant, Colin. You can't beat that. Cherry Bakewell and custard. That's got icing on the top, though. I think that's a bit sweet. That's a bit too sweet. Mark, you should buy a pub, says Pyro. Why? You saying I'm an alcoholic? I don't watch darts, Rian. I play a bit of darts, but I don't watch it. I keep calling him Shevchenko. Sinchenko. Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired today. You ever thought of playing James Bond? Well, it's either... People say, do you want to present Soccer Saturday or be the next James Bond? I could probably... The thing is, I could probably do both, and I think the recruiters know that. But I'd love to do a bit of acting. I've always said I'd like to do a bit of acting. I mean, I did that Wash and Go advert last year, which was quite funny, but funny to do. It might not have been funny to watch, but I'd like to do a bit of acting. Get me a job on Hollyoaks. Just give me a 2-week stint on Hollyoaks. I'll go in, save a load of people, and then die a hero. Lampard looks like the most stressed out man on the planet. Think he needs a brew and a hug, says Tom. He's out of his depth, isn't he? I'm going to lose my job. Mark, if you was Chelsea, would you buy João Felix in the summer? Personally, I'd stay clear, says Connor. No, they should stay clear. They've got enough players in and around that position that they need to back who they've actually bought. I would buy João Felix at Manchester United, though. I can't believe Lampard doesn't pick him. I think João Felix is a good player in a team that hasn't got a fucking striker. Like, all season, they've interchanged João Felix, Mudryk, Havertz, Mount, Ziyech, Sterling, Madueke. You know, there's more. There's more. All these attacking midfielders in different guises have all been dropped, rotated, and they wonder why. Because they haven't got an out-and-out goal scorer that can feed off them. Do I think Lampard's done at Premier League level, says Alex? Oh, yeah, I think he was done the day he left Derby. I think if you look at... I've said this a few times as well. Maybe Chelsea fans will agree, maybe they'll disagree. They'll certainly know the timing's better than me. But I think Lampard as a coach, clip it up if you're interested in technical football analysis. I think Lampard as a coach, when he did well, was at Derby and in his first season at Chelsea. And who was his assistant coach? Jody Morris. Was Jody Morris his assistant coach at Everton? I don't think so. Is he his assistant coach now? No. Look at Steven Gerrard when he was doing well at Rangers. What was the name of the coach? Was it Warburton's or something like that? He left him. Gerrard lost him. And I think the same thing happened at Villa. So, for me, I think Gerrard and Lampard were the name, but it was the people behind them that were making them successful. Here's Arsenal with the cross. Trossard. Saka. Good save. Oh, it's not a good save. He's dropped it. Jesus. Cleared by Chelsea. I heard the Glazers won't sell until after Phil Jones's testimonial, says Christian. It was Michael Beale. What a picker. Would you go on Soccer AM? I said to Tubes loads of times, get me on Soccer AM. I want to score top bins, but they won't have me on. I think I blame Neville. I think he's basically got me banned across Sky. Because I used to go on the Saturday Social, didn't I, as well? They used to have me on there. He runs that place like he's Don Corleone. Don Nevilleone. I don't want Goldbridge on. I know he liked me as a kid. He's the only one who bought the pyjamas. We printed thousands of them. We only sold one pair. I don't want him on Sky. I'm Gary Neville. I'm Sky. I'm Mr. Sky. I forgot Madueke signed for him, you know. James says, well, Mark, why are you so hated out your community? I don't genuinely... Well, I do sort of know, but I don't... People always say there must be some reason for it, but not really. I think it's just because I'm quite opinionated. I think that's it. I'm quite opinionated, and I've played the game. Here's Sterling. Crap pass. I think it's because I'm quite opinionated and I don't arse-lick, so... And I don't do scripted. I won't go on a show where I'm told to say certain things before it's even happened. Like, 20 minutes in, we're going to talk about this because it will make a really good debate. I don't really like that. So... Chelsea play a FIFA team in the hands of a toddler, says Tomato Soup. Not a big... What's your favourite soup? I'm going to enjoy this show tonight. What is your favourite soup? I gave Seb some oxtail soup just before Christmas. He pretended to like it at the time, and then I found out from his mother a day later that he absolutely despised it. And I was like... That's really disappointing because I really like oxtail soup. Tomato soup, I can take it or leave it. Chicken soup I like with a ham sandwich, but it has to be white bread with butter. So if I've got a ham sandwich with white bread, butter and ham in it, I like to dip it in a chicken sandwich. But, which is weird. What a goal! What a goal! Talk about ham sandwich in chicken soup. I tell you what, this guy, Odegaard, he's so good... He could win a blinking competition with a statue because that finish is brilliant. I've been a big fan of Odegaard all season. This finish is delightful. It's delightful. It's chicken soup. It really is fantastic. It comes to him on the edge of the box. One with the left foot. Curls it into the top corner. That really is a cracking goal by Odegaard there. 1-0 to Arsenal. Potato and leeks are fantastic soup, the pancake. But what a hit by Odegaard this is. Watch it back and appreciate it. Look at the positioning of that. I mean, keeper again. Kepa maybe should do a little bit better. What a goal. In off the bar. Always makes it look better. Let's have a look at this. Hits it well. Yeah, again, I've been very critical of Kepa this year, and I feel that he's got wrists like spaghetti. I don't know what he's doing with his spare time, because he's not working on his wrists. But it's a good hit by Odegaard. It probably wasn't as good as I thought it was. I really think Kepa should be saving that. About as firm as a marzipan dildo, those wrists. I'm going to always use... I love that line. I nicked it. I found it months ago, and I thought I'm going to use it loads. It's about as competent as a marzipan dildo. It's got wrists floppier than a marzipan dildo. Stats aren't moving. Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, I know why. Roddy Pickering. Wow, God, Sainsbury's. Retro Oreo. We're not worthy. We are not worthy. This. We were just... Hold on. Odegaard. Oh, he's messed it up. We were just talking about standard soups. There are levels to this soup game. There are championship soups, which I would call chicken soup, oxtail soup, tomato soup. And then there are elite soups. Lovely run by Madueke here. And then he plays a crap pass. But then there are elite soups, like... And let me just get you the names of this. This is... what was it called? Oh, it was so nice. Sainsbury's masala spiced cauliflower soup. I'm telling you now, masala spiced cauliflower soup. It's delightful, and you can get loads of these types of soups. You can get like Moroccan chicken soup. They're just a different level. They're elite. Feeling hungry now. I have mentioned it before. Vegetable soup's okay if it's the right sort. I've not had vegetable soup in years. They do nice soup in. If you've got anybody who lives in Ireland, French onion soup's quite nice, Chris. Yes. Mushroom soup with chanterelles and garlic bread, says Nelly. Oh, sounds lovely. But when I used to live in Ireland, they used to do this chicken soup in a white carton. Was it Avonmore? Very nice. Very nice. HPN says, what's your thoughts on lobster bisque? I avoid lobster because I'm working class and I disagree with it. I think it's cruel to lobsters as well. I'm anti-crustacean. I don't eat crab, mushrooms, lobster. Mushrooms. I mean snails. It is Avonmore soup. Yes, thank you very much. It's elite, says Ross. Also, if you live in Ireland now, I've got you. Get some tickets to the Goldbridge live show in June. Say everyone who's saying Avonmore is elite, that means you live in Ireland. Get tickets to the Goldbridge show, Dublin, June the 6th. It's going to be a cracker. And bring me some Avonmore soup. Chelsea could do with Big Sam's 100% win record, says Alexander. Stephen says lobster was working class food originally. Sterling. Well, Arsenal leading 1-0 here and fairly comfortable as well. What was your go-to sport for Sports Day, Mark? Oh, Mella, you know what I'm going to say here. You're just doing it for the laugh, right? School Sports Day. I won it every year from 7 till 11. Now, you shouldn't win it when you're 7 because you used to race against everybody in this. So whatever year you were, you used to race against 11-year-olds in this. It'll become clear in a minute. I won it 4 years in a row. I was basically the Usain Bolt of the school in this sport because he wins it every year. And I changed my team every year as well. People would be begging me if they could be on my team from January because they knew I was good at it. Wasn't the egg and spoon, 3 in a hoop. Don't laugh. 3 in a hoop is actually, it should be in the Olympics, right? You know them plastic hoop things you get at school? They've got orange and green and blue, but basically rainbow colours. Plastic hoop, yeah? You get a hoop, you get 3 of you in it, and then you race, right? But I wasn't the quickest, but I was elite. I was like Roy Keane in that hoop. I was like, stride with me. Here's Chilwell. He scored. Oh, what a save by Ramsdale. He's done enough there to score, and Ramsdale's made a save. Chilwell was in down the left-hand side, and he's made a great save there, Ramsdale. Chilwell can't believe it. Great ball by Kante. Saka didn't make the challenge, and good save by Ramsdale. Mark, what would be your club's crest colours when you buy one, says Desert Haunter? I don't know, depends who I get hold of. I have exams in June. When are you thinking of another show in Dublin, says Bowsider? I'm not. At the moment. I'd like to do one around Christmas. We'll come back to 3 in a hoop in a minute because it's a very technical sport and it should be in the Olympics. I mean, it's got absolutely no use in the Olympics, but as I've said before, why have we still got pole vault? Oh, look at this guy who can run along with a big stick and jump high in the air. That's great, isn't it? Oh, look at this guy who can do high jump. It's really useful in real life. Oh, let's throw a bloody discus. Yeah, brilliant life skills in 2023. Anyway, nothing's happened with the Chelsea corner. So 3 in a hoop, basically. You have a hoop, you get 3 people in it, you're on the starting line, there's a few other teams, and then ready, steady, go, first one to the line wins. I won this 4 years in a row, and the first year I won it, I was 7. And I'd been up against 11-year-olds. How did I do it? Technique. It was all about technique, and everyone wanted me in their team, and I would be very, very, very selective. Like 2 months before, I'd be saying, forget football at lunchtime, we're going to go through this. They'd be like, come on, I want to play football. I'd be like, no, do you want to play football or do you want to win a race at Sports Day in 2 months' time? It's dedication. It's not about speed, it's about technique. And basically, you stride with the right foot when I say 1, left foot when I say 2. It's a mentality thing. Don't just bloody sprint, we'll all fall over. And on the starting line, I'd go, 1. I'd be like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you've got to run like that. And we blitz everybody. Even the quick people, they'd try and keep up with you, but they'd be all running separately. It'd be carnage. Be like the start of Saving Private Ryan. Everyone's getting shot and everything like that. And Goldbridge and his other 2 were just running along with a hoop right the way through the lines. Brilliant. It's technique. Technique. 3 in a hoop. I was brilliant at it. Arsenal wants a penalty there. People are challengers every year. They try and get the 3 quickest people together, and I just laugh. Not in their face, but in my head. They'd come up to me. We've got the 3 quickest people in the hoop. We're going to take your title this year. I remember my last year at school. They were really trying to beat me. Even the teachers wanted us to lose. They were checking our trainers. You know, my orange juice at lunch got drugs tested. It was, terrible for a 10-year-old to go through. But that should be a penalty. That should be a penalty. But I was calm. I was like, we will win it. We're clean. We'll do it properly. And we won it. Should have been a penalty, that, I reckon. I think it was a handball. I agree with you, Joe. Not been given. Pyro says, the reason you should buy a pub is got a good name for it. The Goldbridge Inn. Be brilliant. I'd love it. Sports bar, nice food, bit of karaoke at the end of the night, bit of stand-up. Lil says, Chelsea are so lucky that was a penalty. I think it was a penalty. Stonewall penalty. It's only because he's got his hands close to his chest, but it's hit him on the hands. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. I've put 947, but I don't know whether we hit it because we're only 10 away when I looked. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Here's Madueke into the box. Cross doesn't make it across, he falls on his arse. Chelsea having too much chicken soup this season, says Edward. A foul on Jesus. "28 minutes gone. Arsenal 1-0 up. And the better team." Dodd says, "I hope Chelsea get relegated." They're not going to get relegated. They've even if they lose every single game, which could happen, they won't get relegated because no team is going to get 39 points in the bottom three. People are going to get relegated with, I would say, 34 points will send you now. But I think 35 might keep you safe. Certainly 36. Opinion on Klopp being charged by the FA, Gabby? I did the video on Monday. Or Sunday. Monday. Lovely ball, that is. Here's Jesus, left-hand side. Tries to find a pass to Xhaka. He does. But Chelsea will clear it. What are they doing here? Got to get rid of that. Aspilicueta clears it. "Do you like broccoli, Mark?" says Zhang. I love broccoli. You know, one of my favourite dishes is lasagna. You know what I like with lasagna? Broccoli. Lasagna and broccoli, I'm in a happy place. Bit of ketchup on the side. Love it. Lasagna and broccoli. What a dinner. What a dinner. If I had a pub, I'd just reserve soups, yeah. A lot of people saying that's grim. I like what I like. Goal again! Odegaard, that's even better! That's even better! Another cross, another goal. You've got all this money spent on Enzo Fernandez. Kovacic is there. Kante's there. They've got all this money in their midfield and all this money in their centre-backs, and they can't pick up the number 10. This is dreadful defending. Lampard at Chelsea. What can you say? It's absolutely rubbish. I don't know what to say. Odegaard again taking up a really good position in the box. Cross comes in. Who's picking him up here? Well, Chilwell's got an eye on him, but then he's got to look behind him. It's Sterling. Sterling just loses him. Look at this. He watches him. He's let him go. It's too late. That's on Raheem Sterling. But I mean, that's Lampard for you. Why is he picking Sterling? He's been shit all season. Lampard as manager of Chelsea, about as useful as electric windows on a submarine. In fact, it may as well be electric windows on this Chelsea submarine because some prats let them down and everybody inside just drowns under the pressure. (2-0). Terrible. And here's Jesus again. I mean, look, you know, we've had a lot of goals. We've had a lot of goals in this Premier League over the last couple of weeks. We might get something big here. Penalties for handballs used to be simpler. The question always was ball to hand or hand to ball. What do you think? Should they go back to that? Yes. Yeah, I would rather penalties. If it hits your hand, it's a penalty. I don't care whether it hits you there. That's still your hand. I don't care where your hand is. I don't care whether it's hailing a taxi or covering your crotch. If it hits your hand, it's a penalty. If it hits you anywhere from your sleeve down, it's a penalty. Just give it. VAR could prove that as well. It hits his arm. It is his arm. It's a handball. Just give it. Just do that. None of this bloody subjective nonsense about natural arm position. I was playing in a charity game a couple of years ago and a penalty got given for handball. and his hand was up in the air like that. And he went mad at the referee. And the referee was saying, your hand was in an unnatural position. He said, no, it wasn't. Have you ever seen me walking down the street? I walk like this with my arms like that. That's how I walk. Big hands in the air like that. It's a natural position. And I thought, you know what? He looks a prat, but actually he makes a good point. 3-0. Jesus. It's a battering. It's an absolute battering here. Lampard is getting absolute... Oh, Lampard's got to go. Lampard's got to go. He's got to go. 3-0. Lampard's got to go. Get Steve Bruce in. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Look at him. He looks like he's going to cry. There might be something in VAR for this. It looked scrappy. But this is dreadful. They have so many chances to clear it as well. There's no offside there, I don't think. I can't see how this is offside. If anything, it looks like there might be a handball in the build-up. Well, it'd be a handball on Fofana, if anything. 3-0 after 34 minutes. Chelsea fans, talk to me. Talk to me, Chelsea fans. Talk to me, Chelsea fans. Come on. I don't know what to say. I don't like to say, I told you so. I think you know what Chelsea fans did? You know what Chelsea fans did? I've told this story before, but I've got a new angle on it. I was driving up to Manchester. I've got TalkSport on, and they're talking about Chelsea getting Lampard. I'm laughing. I'm nearly choking on my coffee I've just got from the drive-through. And I'd parked up for that, because obviously that would be illegal to be drinking my coffee when I'm driving. But anyway, they're all ringing up going, oh, this is great. Potter's finally gone. Potter's finally gone. He's bloody useless. Get Frank in there. Feel good factor. You know, it'll be great with Frank, right? And I'm going, this is going to go absolutely worse. 100%, right? The warning signs for Lampard that Chelsea fans didn't see were incredible. To me and a few others, I likened bringing Lampard back to walking into a field with a bull, pulling your pants down, bending over, and painting your arse red. That's what I thought the potential for danger was by bringing Lampard back. Sticking with your arse in the air, red, with an angry bull. And just waiting to see what happens. And lo and behold, this is what's happened. Somebody in the chat, Roberts just said, what warning signs? What warning signs? The fact that he's not a very good coach. The fact that you know what? They scammed staying up Everton last year. They absolutely, it was Man United's fault. They beat Man United. You speak to Everton fans. They beat Man United at Goodison Park. I think it was a deflected goal. We were totally crap, but we still deserved to win. Lampard's there at the end, fisting the crowd like he's bloody some sort of Pep reborn. It's one of the worst performances I've seen from Everton, and they somehow managed to get 3 points. They stayed up by the skin of their teeth, and then they continued to be absolutely shite. And Chelsea fans, for some reason, thought that Lampard was going to give them the feel-good factor. You'd have been better off sticking with Potter till the end of the season, because the problem with Potter was you created chances, you couldn't bloody score them because you haven't got a striker. The problem with Lampard is you don't create chances and you concede bloody loads. I mean, Potter's teams didn't concede many, they just couldn't score. Now, you concede loads and you still can't score. All I can envisage now is just... Oh, I don't know. Walking into a field with your pants down, painting it red in a bull field. Boom, shakalak. I don't know, look, sometimes you get things wrong. You know, Van Dijk's just a Dutch Chris Smalling. I got it wrong. But sometimes you're very, very right. And look, I'll say the same about Leeds. Leeds. Getting Sam Allardyce in 20 years ago wouldn't be a bad idea. I think it's going to go completely tits up for you. You know, the chances of Leeds staying up with Allardyce are about the same chance as milking a worm's tits. You know, it's just not going to happen. But Lampard at Chelsea, I feel sorry for him now. That's the worst thing in the world. Chelsea fans don't want that. I feel sorry for the guy. He's a Premier League legend as a footballer. But he ain't a coach. He ain't a coach. They'd have been better off getting a National Express bus. That's more of a coach than Lampard. Opinions on Joe Mills as a centre-back partnership, says CMA. Don't know what you're talking about. What's the best way to contact you about the Dublin show for my disabled son, who's 13, says Michelle. He'd have to be accompanied by an adult, Michelle. And as far as I know, I think there is access. I think you're better off contacting the venue. Yeah, I think somebody did this before, and I think you're better off contacting the venue, yeah. I think Lampard would make an interesting pundit. I used to like him on BT before, but he ain't a coach. And I do feel sorry for him, Joey. Yeah, I feel sorry for him big time. Ain't good enough. I mean, but this is what happened to Man City. Like, this is what Arsenal did to Man City. Do you love Liverpool and hate Man United, says Big Leo. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, definitely. What a prat. I'm just intelligent enough, like most football fans now, to be able to watch football in general and appreciate it. I actually cannot stand I cannot stand the world I used to be in probably 5 or 6 years ago, where you are basically pantomiming for views by arguing with fans of opposing clubs, basically who's got the bigger knob, and the knob's on their head. So basically you're just arguing who's the biggest knobhead about. And I know there's people doing that content still, but I just think it's so basic. And I put my hands up and say I was part of it. Yes, I apologise, but this whole sit opposite an Arsenal fan or a Liverpool fan or a Chelsea fan and argue who's got the biggest dick on their head, basically, because that's what it was. I can't be arsed with that type of content. I think it's just basic, and I think as creators, I and we as a community have moved along. I can watch Arsenal versus Chelsea and critique it without being an Arsenal or Chelsea fan, or enjoy it without being an Arsenal or Chelsea fan. I don't need an Arsenal fan to go, he's bad, Saka's bad and Rashford. We're watching Arsenal-Chelsea, mate. We're talking about your season. We're talking about Chelsea's season. You're not playing Man United. How will the game go when Chelsea play United in a couple of weeks, Mark? We'll win, Sam. I don't know whether Chelsea will win another game this season. Oh, it's Man City West Ham tomorrow night. I'm not doing a watch-along of that. I'm not doing that. If it had been Liverpool-Fulham, maybe, but I'm not doing Man City West Ham. No. I can't watch Man City. They're too good. I'll do Real Madrid next week, but yeah, I can't watch Man City West Ham. Watching Man City West Ham, that's like watching an Easter egg have a fight with a blowtorch. And West Ham ain't the blowtorch. They're the Easter egg. Logan says, just because he's a Man United fan doesn't mean he can't enjoy football in general and watch the best league in the world, says Logan. Sterling is shocking, says Reynard. Lampard lacks any sort of tactical knowledge and can't even set up a good 11 with 30 options, says Reynard. Well, look, I look at that Chelsea side and I'd pick a better team, and I think any Chelsea fan would, and I think anybody in you would. Ranveer Singh, I think it was the Bollywood actor Ranveer. You're a legend, pal. Thank you very much. Look, Aubameyang is shit. Sterling is shit. Madueke's not settled. So he's picked a front three I find incredible. Absolutely incredible. I would have picked João Felix, Havertz and Mudryk over those three any day of the week. You're going to play one of the best teams in the league who've had a bloody nose and been waiting for this game since last Wednesday, and he picks Aubameyang, who can't be arsed, Sterling, who's never settled, and Madueke, who's a brand new player. What is he on? I played for a team once, right? And rest in peace to this coach. I really liked him. But he was out of his depth. Everyone used to take the piss. And one Sunday game, he picked the team out of a hat. That is the God's honest truth. He picked the team out of a hat. I feel like Lampard's doing that. Like, why would you ever pick Sterling, Madueke and Aubameyang for a game like this? You're basically giving the Arsenal back four a day off. If I was João Felix, I'd be fuming. If I was Mudryk, I'd be like, why was I bought here? You know, it's unbelievable. And I do feel sorry for Lampard, but I don't feel sorry for him in relation to the team he picks. It's terrible. I still think Mudryk would be a good player. The fact that Arteta and Arsenal desperately wanted him shows that there's a player there to me. I don't know a lot about Mudryk. He was never on Man United's list, so I never it's not a player I spend a lot of time thinking about. But I knew Arsenal wanted him. Chelsea did what Chelsea do sometimes, and but I think there's a good player there. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. Slow Sports News says Sterling slows the game rather than run down the wings. He stops and turns back to the goalie. Tactical play to stop City, says Slow Sports News. We're back and we're going to win the league, says Zane. Come on, you Gunners. Champions League trophy next for us. Yeah, it'd be a miracle if Arsenal won the league. But they can only do what they've got to do. And as I said at the start of the game, I think Arsenal just need to get as many points as they can. Because if they can get 85 points, then next year it's only another 10 to get 95, isn't it? Someone on Twitter wrote, Rome wasn't built in a day regarding Lampard. I pointed out that Pompeii was destroyed in a day. That's my win for the day, says Nick P. Well, I've had a few today, Nick. I mean, I've had quite a few tonight. I've had the arse in the air, like you just don't care for the bull. I've had the Man City versus West Ham game, blowtorch against the Easter egg. Not watching that, but that's not a bad one as well. One player you'd take from Arsenal, says Dina. I think I'd probably take from Arsenal. I'd probably take Saka, to be honest. Yeah, I like Anthony, but I think I'd take Saka. I like Saka. Can we take a picture together in New York, says Sir? I'm sure it'll be possible. Enzo hasn't impressed me at all since joining Chelsea, says Steph. But I think this is another problem sometimes. I think people don't realise just how important it is to sign for the right team. Sterling wants a penalty. I think Lampard's got to. I even called him Sackard. I think Sackard's got to get sacked. Lampard's got to get sacked. It's got to. I hate to say it, but why is it offensive? I can't understand why people, when it was Solskjaer, it's so offensive. When it's Lampard, oh, it's so offensive. But when it's the Leeds guy, I don't think anyone's crying a river in Leeds, are they? About that, that's absolutely fine. When it was Patrick Vieira, oh, it's a little bit sad. If you're not good at your job, you get the sack. You haven't won a game yet. Anyway, it's half time. Let's stop the clock. Give me your thoughts, everybody. I don't want to hear that Arsenal are back in a title race because I don't get Sterling swimming goggles diving again, says Logan. Commentator just said no one on the pitch for Chelsea has scored in the last 8 games. Incredible stat for such a team, says Charlie. Mark, can you admit Martinelli is on same level as Ronaldo? Neymar and Ronaldo and better than Jude? No, Zane. I think you're talking out your arse. Mark, as a United fan, it's sickening to watch City have the chance of a treble, but Arsenal fans deserve this humbling. They should know their place, says Shaunock. And thank you very much for those super chats. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Mark, can you also make it to the Vegas game? I'll even buy you a beer, says Oliver. I don't know what I'm doing yet in relation to all of the tour, but I definitely do want to do New York, 100%. Frank looks defeated, says Dylan. Chelsea are a joke, says Just Kevin. I think that Todd Boehly has the best interests of Chelsea at heart, and I think he's got loads and loads of money. But I've been saying this for a very long time. Chelsea fans need to put a bit of pressure on and say, please just let somebody run the club that's not you. You will be successful, but at the moment you are destroying the club with your ego. You are spending a lot of money, but you may as well burn it because the decisions are terrible. What were you doing in January? What was the point in buying Mudryk and João Felix on loan and Madueke? What was the point in them 3 players and not getting a striker? What was the point in bringing Potter in, who clearly would need 2 years, and not even giving him 8 months? Why did you bring Lampard in? What idiot advised you to do that? I think Chelsea are destroying their future with bad decisions. And I tell you what, Pochettino ain't the answer. All he's going to do is give you stability. And stability at the moment sounds great, but there's a ceiling to that stability. Pochettino will get you 3rd or 4th. He will not get you 2nd or 1st. And Chelsea have won titles in the last 10 years. So I just think the way the club's being run at the moment is embarrassing, and I think it's starting to damage you. I think there's managers looking at you and saying no. I think that's why Pochettino is now the favourite, because I don't think there are, I don't think the Nagelsmans, the Zidans, the Luis Enriques, I don't think you've gone for Pochettino ahead of them. I think they've said no, because I think they look at it and go, that club's a mess. And I don't think it will be long before people turn on Poch if it goes wrong as well. But, I think it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? You need a proper owner. You need a proper CEO. It's horrific. It's really bad. It's really bad. And let's see what people have got to say. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. So, Mark, can you set up a meet and greet in New York, says Max. Mark, thoughts on emojis? I'm dismayed that individuals can't express themselves via the written word and have been reduced to effectively uttering me happy, me sad, me angry, says Jackie. Who's been the better player since arriving in the Premier League, Cody Gakpo or João Felix, says Stephen. Well, I think Gakpo, yeah. Is it possible that Lampard is just Todd Boehly's puppet and he's the one picking the team, says Snacks? We'd hope a Chelsea legend would not let that happen. You would hope that. But this is just cruel. It's horrible to see, actually. When you think about it, it's cruel. Lampard is going to get the blame because that's what happens to managers. But, he never should have got the call. He never should have got the call. It's horrific. It's cruel. It's like asking Freddy Krueger to enter a wanking competition. It's horrific. It's just not... Nobody wants to see it. And ultimately, you know what's going to happen. As I say, it just comes down. It comes down to the decision makers. It doesn't come down to. If I was offered the Chelsea job, I'd do it. If you were offered the Chelsea job, you would do it. That's just ego and opportunity. It does. It's always. I always say this. If Red Bull F1 team put Stevie Wonder behind a wheel and they don't win the race, is that Stevie Wonder's fault? It's the decision maker's fault. And the decision making at Chelsea this season has been dreadful. And I just wonder why they're not calling it out so much. You don't need new owners. You just need your owner to let proper people run the club. Get a proper CEO in, get a proper director of football in, and to keep your gob shut, basically. You know, the most an owner should do is when results are going badly, be the person that goes, right, we need to sack, under advice from your director of football and your CEO. I think he goes around buying the players. Would you like James Maddison at United? Don't think we need him, Gary. No. Lampard is the worst manager in Premier League history, but English media protects him, says she. And Mark, what do you think about the Ronaldo situation? He wants to leave, says X Rare Stories. Well, I'll probably do a video on it tomorrow, actually. I've not really read too much about it at the moment. Why does the media not criticise Lampard, says Abanaf? Because he's in the club. He's in the club. Raymond Abramovich ran it right, says Maka. Look, whatever about where you're from, what your politics are, ultimately, you know, you're probably not wrong. Just, you know, good leadership can happen in any body, can't it? And they certainly ran it a hell of a lot better than this. I actually, it surprises me how I don't really hear Chelsea fans going in on the ownership enough. I thought the sacking of Potter was a disgrace because I just thought, you know, the plan in place has to be better than the sacking. Chelsea are not the only club who've done that this season. The amount of clubs that have sacked managers and then not had a decent plan in place for me is ridiculous. If I was a club owner and I've got my CEO saying, I think we need to sack this manager, and I'm going, well, let's have a look at the evidence. Look, I appointed him. I agreed to appoint him. I don't care what the fans say. I'm going to make this decision. Like Bournemouth did with Gary O'Neill. They stuck with him. The fans didn't want it, but they stuck with him. But if I am going to sack the manager, who's the replacement? Well, we're looking at this. We're looking at that. Don't tell me what you're bloody looking at. Who is it? Who wants the job now if I sack this manager? Well, we haven't got anybody. Well, piss off and do your job then. I ain't sacking anybody when we've got nobody else lined up. What's crazy is Arsenal will still have 0 trophies at the end of the year, says Zach. And Enzo to Chelsea on a 9-year deal is like giving a teenager a Ferrari, says MRR. I think there's a good player in Enzo Fernandez. I just think he's made the wrong move. But it's like the Leeds players that ignored the Leeds fans in the hotel. You know, it's like the Arsenal players that walked out for the mascot and were just like, and then walking away. Money makes the world go around, and they're just all motivated by money, really. They've lost intelligence, and, you know, Enzo Fernandez never should have left Benfica in January. He should have waited till the summer and looked at his options, because going to Chelsea in January was completely and utterly about the money. Chelsea was not a good club to join in January. You can only be going there for money. They were in January, they were never going to be in the Champions League next year. In January, they were always going to struggle this season. All he had to do was wait 5 months at Benfica, who were in a Champions League quarter-final. Wait 5 months, you've probably got Real Madrid, Man United, Liverpool, Man City, take your pick. Or Chelsea, take your pick. And then Chelsea played the release clause, and they've all gone, money. He should have said no. He should have said no. He should have waited. Seems Lampard went for a speed run on the manager career, says LJ. Someone on Twitter wrote, Rome, I've done that one from Nick P, thank you very much. Look up Roger Schmidt, Benfica manager as well, says Mr. Dark. How are you this evening? Will Chelsea get 40 points, says Cal. It'd be amazing if they don't. Mini Minter could do bits for Chelsea, says Dylan. I don't think it's a player issue. I think it's a recruitment issue. I will never understand why Chelsea didn't buy a striker last summer. I think it's criminal they didn't buy a striker in January. I mean, they didn't need Enzo Fernandez. That 100 million, you could have rung Juventus up and got Vlahovic. You probably could have got Ramos out of Benfica for that. There's so many strikers they could have gone and got. I mean, even Thuram, who's available on a free from Leverkusen, they could have got him for 15, 20 million. Like, to not get a striker was disgusting. And that's what's ruined Chelsea, really. What's your go-to cologne, Mark, says Denver. At the moment, I've been wearing Creed quite a lot, I've got to say. But I do like Sauvage. I've got a Gucci one as well. Enzo, I've done that. done that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Caught up on those. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. I think we did hit 947k, but bottom right-hand corner to do it. You're very, very welcome here on That's Football. Everybody's welcome. What do we think the final score is going to be? It could be anything. Could be anything here. Could be absolutely anything. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Show the stats, Mark. Just before I do show the stats, don't forget, 40% gift to you. 40% off with the code Goldbridge, exclusive to That's Football viewers tonight. Boohoo Man, I'm wearing one of their hoodies. They've got gym wear that works. You can get 40% off through the link in the description or by scanning the QR code and going to their website tonight or after the stream or right now. Goldbridge is the code, 40% off. Check it out. Mark, if you were offered the Chelsea manager job, would you take it? Same wages as Lampard, you would be better anyway. Goldbridge for Chelsea, says Colin. Of course I would. That's why I don't blame Lampard. And he's got a better CV than me. You know, I don't think anyone can blame Lampard for taking the job. Good money, club he loves, a chance to get back into management so quickly in the Premier League after ruining it at Everton. Of course you're going to say yes, but he never should have been given the offer. Polish Cannavaro, already good as Varane, says Zayn Miasi. They bought Aubameyang, says Phantom. Yeah, I said they needed to buy a striker. Aubameyang's dusted. I don't know why they brought him in. Incredible. Do they ship to USA, says Danny? I think they do, yes. Should West Ham focus on the Conference League or Man City, says Tommy? And have you ever done the Deitch impression? No, I haven't, Tyler. Ranić got tons of abuse compared to Frank. Oh, 100%, sorry, yeah. It's the British bias, you know, that's just the way it goes. Let's have a look at the stats here. I mean, it's 3-0 to Arsenal, as we know. 57% possession. 8 shots to 2, 5 on target to 1, 327 passes in total to 252, 90% pass accuracy to 85. Yeah, it's the shots on target, isn't it? It's the shots in general. Chelsea ain't doing too bad for pass accuracy and, you know, passes, but they've got sod all in the final third. You know, it's clear as day. You can see that they're not creating chances. I can't believe that he picked Aubameyang, Sterling and Madueke. I can't believe it. I can't believe you'd do that against the second best team in the league. Away from home. I don't get it. I really don't. But, you know, and people were taking it. You know, Potter was getting told off for changing the team. And Lampard's picking a team like that. Ivan Toney's got 20 goals in the Prem. If Potter had had him in January, he never would have got the sack, and Chelsea fans wouldn't have gone in on him yet as well. That was from Nathan Allen. I was saying this game would be revenge for Wenger's 1000th game when Arsenal lost 6-0. Doesn't look so ridiculous now, says Show. Chelsea should have kept Tammy Abraham, says the HPN. And, yeah, I think that, I just think sometimes football's very simple, isn't it? And I still find it crazy that they never bought a striker in January. Is this the most disappointing Premier League team in recent memory, considering the talent in the squad, says Suddenly Stan. It's not just, well, you're right, squad. I mean, as I say, you know, you look at that Chelsea bench. Well, you look at this. Well, let me just read this out to you because the second half's about to start. But, you know, you'll be aware of the Chelsea starting 11. You've got Kepa, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Fofana, Chilwell, Kante, Fernandes, Kovacic, Madueke, Aubameyang, Sterling. On the bench, Badiashile, João Felix, Loftus-Cheek, Chalobah, Mudryk, Mendy, Ziyech, Gallagher, Havertz. You know, Havertz is coming on now for Aubameyang. So that was a complete and utter waste of time. I mean, that's just a blatant admission of being a prat as a manager. You know, never should have started Aubameyang in the first place. Clearly fell off and not interested. You play him against his old club, he puts in a performance like that, and then you have to sub him at half-time. I mean, that's Lampard sacked for me. You know, the Aubameyang, he's been terrible at his job anyway, but picking Aubameyang and then subbing him off after 45 minutes, it's embarrassing level of football knowledge, really, from a coach's point of view. What did he think was going to happen? Crazy. Anyway, we're about to start the second half here. Jesus is ready. And there you go. Well, there's no way back for Chelsea. It's just going to be about how many goals Arsenal can get. Here's Sterling. Again, just a bad pass. He's just so bad. Do you think Lampard will ever coach in the Premier League against Sebastian? Well, he shouldn't do. He shouldn't do. There shouldn't be another job in the Premier League for Lampard, should there? But you never say never. But I mean, to be fair, he's managed Chelsea, which I think was a very lucky job to get off a decent season with Derby. The Everton job, I think he did very well to get that. And then he's got the Chelsea job again, of course. So I think he's had a very, very lucky career living off a Premier League legend as a player. I think I'm not an owner of a football club in the Premier League, but I'm telling you now, you don't need to go to Specsavers to see what sort of coach you need. Who's De Zerbi? Is he a Premier League legend? No. Thomas Frank? No. Ten Hag? No. Silva? No. You don't need to... It's stupid. Valencia did it with Gary Neville. Aston Villa did it with Gerrard. Chelsea have done it with Lampard twice. Just because you were an ex-Premier League legend doesn't mean you're going to be a good coach. Sir Alex Ferguson managed loads of fantastic players. How many of them have gone on to be good managers? Hardly any of them. I mean, there's an argument to say that the best manager that was a former player of Sir Alex Ferguson is Mark Robins at Coventry, who's just been doing it in the lower leagues for years and actually was a sort of a reservey / first team striker in the early 90s. Van Nistelrooy's doing okay at the moment, yeah. Would you take Alton Towers as a kit sponsor, says Mikey. Put 500 on Arsenal to win, easiest 400 I've ever earned, says HD. DB. Michael Carrick's doing as well, yeah. Steve Bruce and Mark Hughes. But they're journeymen managers, aren't they? Mark Hughes and Steve Bruce. They're not, you think about all the players that Sir Alex Ferguson, the greatest coach ever, coached, and not one of them has got close to replicating what he did. Not even one Premier League title. Lampard will probably get this. Lampard or Gerrard will probably get the England job next. Let's be honest. I find it. Unfortunately, thankfully I'm not a Chelsea fan, but unfortunately I have watched Chelsea a lot over the last 2 months, under Potter and under Lampard. I think under Potter, they were frustrating how many chances they got and didn't score. Under Lampard, it's incredible how you can have such a collection of good players and get absolutely dominated by... I mean, Brighton at Stamford Bridge was embarrassing. But didn't they lose to Brentford at Stamford Bridge as well? They shouldn't be losing these games. Have a stretch, Mark, says Alistair. Thanks, pal. Yeah, like I say, don't forget, we've got the Goldbridge live show in Dublin on June the 6th. There's still some tickets available. I've dropped it in the live chat if you fancy it. It's going to be a cracking show, and you're very welcome. So if you want to get your tickets, links in the live chat there. End of season show. I'm sure we'll be taking a piss out of Chelsea a little bit. As long as they don't come to Old Trafford and beat us before then, because we have got to play them soon. Marlon says, I do like that top. It is a nice top. It's at Boohoo Man. 40% off with the code Goldbridge. It's 4-0. It's 4-0. No, it didn't go over the line. It's not over the line. The whole ball did not cross the line. I thought it did. It looked like he cleared it off the line. It's not a goal. It's not over the line. Odegaard. That'll go for a goal kick. Well, they can't argue about it because it didn't go over the line. They've got the technology. I thought it did. It's been. I mean, look at Kepa. He's in all sorts of trouble. It's definitely not over the line. Thiago Silva's on there. Uses his knee and then volleys it away. Yeah, it doesn't even get close to being over the line, to be fair. What's your thought on Big Sam to Leeds, Mark? Says it's crossed. Well, I've done a video on the channel today, which I'm sure some of you've watched, so I won't spend long on it. But I think it's an absolute joke. Yeah. There's more chance of Norwich winning the Champions League this year than there is of Leeds staying up with Sam Allardyce. Hey, if Coventry get promoted, Mark Robins has done a brilliant job for years at Coventry. Doesn't get any credit, no. Oh, lovely play. Lovely play into Saka. They've got options, Arsenal. There's an overlap. Xhaka. Good save by Kepa. Nearly 4-0. They've nearly scored the fourth goal twice in the first couple of minutes of this half, Arsenal. And Chelsea ain't getting any better. FPL Fozzie says, do you still regret Felix not going to United? Yes, I do. I'd love João Felix to have gone to Manchester United. I mean, look, the alternative is Weghorst. João Felix is better than Weghorst. So, yeah, I would. 100%. Corner to Arsenal. Cross comes in. Oh, it should have been another goal on the back post. Jesus. Should have scored. Queuing up for chances. Gets himself free on the back post. Yeah, he should be scoring that. He should be scoring that. Well, will Chelsea have a chance this half? That's the story we're looking for. Would you rather have Potter or Southgate as England managers, Crystal? Are you having a laugh? Is he having a laugh? Of course I'd bloody want Potter over Southgate. He's useless. Absolutely rubbish. Crossed into the box by Chelsea. Nothing doing. Nothing doing. I'm trying to find a stat here and I'm never going to bloody find it, am I? Nope. La 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 la. Well, I'm very grateful that there's no Arsenal fans saying, do you think we can still win the league, Mark? Because I think that mentality is just going to hurt you. I think you've had an incredible season. You know I've been very consistent about that. I think people who are calling you bottlers are doing it because they want to do these silly, petty rivalry arguments, which I just don't. I've sort of grown up from. Can't be arsed with it anymore. I think you can have a mature conversation about football. Man United aren't in a title race with Arsenal, so why does it bother me if Arsenal bottle it or not? I think that I think Arsenal have had a brilliant season compared to where they've come from over the last few years, and I think ultimately they're not going to win the league because Man City are. I don't think anyone was going to stop Man City winning the league this year. But I think it's really important that Arsenal just keep it going and try and get as many points as they can in the next few games to build for next season, really. Have you watched a game at Highfield Road, Mark? Says Kenneth. It doesn't exist anymore. They play at the Rico, don't they? Thoughts on news confirming Messi leaving PSG, says Astivia. I don't know. Where's he going? Tracy Taylor's gifted a membership. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tracy. It's all Arsenal. Oh, what a shot by Saka. I thought that was going in the bottom corner as well. Jason's a Chelsea fan. Jason Johnson's a Chelsea fan. He says, when are the players going to get some of the blame? Because even if Poch should take over tomorrow, the results would be the same. It's not just the coach. I think you're right, Jason. I think it's a collective problem that I find fascinating. I don't get it. I can't understand what's going on at Chelsea. But what I do know about the modern player is if you give them an excuse to down tools, they'll do it because they're pampered, they're spoiled. They're not really the players of 10, 20 years ago who would roll their sleeves up and fight for the badge. It's money. They're just not. They can't be arsed, basically. They've got no motivation. And the problem is there might be 4 or 5 players in that Chelsea team who've got the pride and the effort and the work rate. But when you're playing against a team that have all got it, at this level, those fine margins will do you in. What happened to Weghorst and why is he so hated now? Says Bob. He's not hated. I think Weghorst is quite well liked at United. We just all know he's not very good. Yeah, United last season were like this. Sally Devil Red 7, the moderator, shout out, is saying, yeah, this is what it was like at United last season. It was exactly like this. You just couldn't understand how a set of players that get so much money and are quite talented can play so bad. And it's basically because they're pampered and they just can't be arsed. And they just blame each other. They look away from themselves. They live in worlds without mirrors. And instead of looking at themselves and trying to find the best themselves, they blame everybody else. Manager, other players, coaches, It's a very big problem in the modern game. And that's why good coaching should be appreciated so much, because you can get these modern millionaire pampered players to play well. You're a very good coach. That's why Thomas Frank and Silva and De Zerbi deserve so much credit, because they do it with limited resources as well. Has anyone seen Jason Cundy? Says Paul D. Oh, you're not bored of Jason Cundy going on about these big lists? It was funny the first time he did it, but now he just keeps doing these big lists every time. He's jumped the shark. Mark, I love your energy and motivation for this community. Never stop, mate, says Kevin. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I remember years ago, I lived in Dublin, so we're talking 20 years ago. I remember being on a Sunday afternoon in Dublin. United had lost. I can't remember who we'd lost to. It didn't happen that often, so I should remember it. But I remember a mate saying to me, fuck 'em. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm really pissed off. And he was like, no, fuck 'em. Why should 11 millionaires dictate our mood? Let's go and have a few pints. And I thought, well, it didn't make me feel any better, but it did make me think, 11 millionaires on a pitch can dictate the mood of people who it matters more to. And that's what Chelsea have got here. A bunch of millionaires who couldn't give a shit. Chelsea's squad was never good. 5 fluke months with Tuchel, don't change that. Their squad has been in consistent decline. Says Frentas, mate, come on. I'm not having that. That Chelsea squad's got a lot of talent in it. It's not a balanced squad, I'll give you that. but they shouldn't be performing this bad. What I would say to you is, if these players were all playing to their potential, would Chelsea be this bad? No, they wouldn't. And I think that's what the previous comment was all about. If these players were playing at their highest level, they wouldn't be this bad. Next Chelsea manager, says Scovind. I think it's a shame that they didn't get Nagelsmann. I think Pochettino will do all right, but is all right good enough? I hate Chelsea. I would sell my soul just to see Chelsea get relegated, says Ricardo. Thank you very much for your super chat. Mark, if you weren't a fan of United, who would you support, says Kevin? I get asked this quite a lot, and I don't know whether anybody else wants to answer the question for themselves, but I can't do that because I can't imagine my life not being a Man United fan, because it started so young with, getting home from school and seeing these VHS tapes of, the Busby Babes and stuff like that. So it was always this great story around Manchester United that, enthralled me. I don't know. I don't know. Odegaard, Saka, Jesus. The easiest team for me to support would have been Liverpool, because that was the team that was dominant. That was the glory boy supporting club when I was growing up in the late 80s. And there was a lot of people that supported Liverpool. So I didn't like them. So I think if I was going to support a team in the late 80s and it wasn't going to be Man United, I think it might have been an Everton. I've told this story. My very first football kit was an Everton kit. It's a weird story, but it's true. I think I would have supported Everton, actually. Yeah, I think I would have supported Everton. I've always been a bit for the underdog, which sounds weird because Man United were the underdog when I supported them. They didn't win. They'd not won anything. I don't really remember them winning the cup in '85. So for me, first trophy I saw United win was '90 in the FA Cup. We were never in a league title race or anything like that. We were a former big club. This could be a goal for Chelsea. They've got a 4v2. If they don't score here, they're useless. Oh, they're bloody useless. How do you not turn that into a goal? Oh my God. Kante, 4v2. What is he trying to do? I know Kante's a great player, but you've got a 4v2. How does that not turn into a goal? Amazing. Amazing. Hi Mark, I was randomly looking at Wayne Rooney's top 10 goals for United the other night. Do you think he is underappreciated as a United legend, says Ali? Yeah, maybe. I remember Rooney. What a fantastic player. I think the problem that the modern player has... It's interesting, I was listening to what Matic said today, and he was saying, Maguire was a really good player in his first year. Obviously, he's not playing so well now, but he was basically blaming it on social media, which I think is stupid from Matic, really. I think it's bloody ridiculous. Every elite sports person I've heard speak, from Paul Pogba to Cristiano Ronaldo to Messi, they all say the same thing. I'm my own biggest critic. I don't really care what people say about me in the papers or the fans say about me, because I'm my own biggest critic. And if somebody's saying I'm playing crap on the terrace, I already know it myself. So I don't know what Matic is talking about players, fans being the reason a player's playing badly. What a complete and utter load of shite. I think it's a nonsense, to be honest with you. But it's a goal for Chelsea, 3-1. Madueke there. Well, he's Madueke's wakey, because Arsenal's defence has gone to sleep here. A ball over the top. Madueke slips in. He makes it 3-1. Gabriel's hurt himself. And Chelsea are back in it. Looks like he's going to be miles onside. He is. Nothing wrong with that. And well, you say there's nothing wrong with that. We never know with the lines. He looks well onside. But John Stones looked way offside the other day. So we'll have to see that back again. I think he will be onside. Clearly the comeback is on, says Atlas. What were we talking about? Anyway, I didn't mean to get on to Matic. What were we talking about? Do you still think... Oh, Rooney. Do you still think Rashford will break Rooney's record, says 1000V Phantom? We'll come back to that in a minute. 3-1 here. No clean sheets for Ramsdale. Gabriel is injured. Terrific says, obviously social media affects them. Well, it shouldn't affect them. Shouldn't affect them. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't blame your 2 years of bad form on... Social media is just the terrace, is what I'm trying to say. There's an injury here, so let's get back to this. You can't come out and say, I'm a bad footballer because people have been getting on my back on social media. That's such a nonsense, right? Any professional footballer that plays has played under 11, 12s, 13s, 14s and had to fight all the way to get to that level. It's a ridiculous journey to be a professional footballer. If you can't take criticism, there's no way you're going to be a professional footballer in the first place. So to say that, a few people on social media saying that they're not good enough to play for Arsenal or Man United is the reason that they're not playing well enough is a nonsense. It's complete and utter crap. No way is that the reason that they're not playing well. Because social media is just it's just the terrace. Like, I don't know how many people actually get to go to games now, but when I was growing up and going to games, and I've told this story loads of times, if you went to United in the early noughties, people used to get on Ryan Giggs' back all the time because he'd give the ball away and stuff sometimes, and people, fucking pass the ball, it's always there. So I think Matic is talking out his arse there, to be honest. But what I was going to say is that I think where social media can be an issue is that these ex-players, and we're seeing it with Lampard here, legend for Chelsea, Frank Lampard, Solskjaer, legend for Manchester United, Rooney, legend for Manchester United. But the problem is, football fans now are so more vocal and educated than they probably were, and can voice their opinion definitely more than they could. When Wayne Rooney comes out with comments about the Glazers being good owners and stuff like that, suddenly the legend status of a goal scorer for Man United becomes secondary to the fact that you are bigging up the Glazer ownership. So, I see players getting stick all the time. But then that's their choice if they want to do media work. If you want to be a manager, those things can have an impact on your status. I don't think Lampard or Solskjaer or Rooney or anybody else is any less of a legend of their club. But what you decide to do when you retire can have an impact on it, Alan Shearer, he's quite safe as a pundit, isn't he? He's quite bland, really. It's never going to impact his status as a legend player, is it? Mark, debate Simon Jordan. Get him on the United stand. I don't think he'd do it, Assad. Don't think he'd do it. I think we've tried a couple of times and he won't do it. David will win the Golden Glove. Let's go. The first Arsenal goal was savable. That's why you need great shot stoppers, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Who do I think is better, Lampard or Southgate? Well, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. I mean, to be honest, I genuinely think that's close. Because I think Southgate's bloody terrible. I was saying this at the weekend. I don't know whether I tweeted it or not, so I'll say it to you now. How the hell does Eric Dyer get called up for England and Tamori doesn't? Or Chris Smalling doesn't? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think Southgate's a terrible coach. If you're a professional footballer, you should be able to tune the noise out. 100%. You're living the dream. You've got to be your own biggest critic at football. Any professional athlete, you've got to be your own biggest critic. You've got to be intelligent enough to know whether the criticism is valid. And if it is valid, you've got to work hard to be better. Like, I guarantee there's Chelsea forums and all sorts calling these players absolutely everything bad. And they deserve it. And those Chelsea players deserve it and will know they deserve it. They'll know their levels aren't good enough, and they'll know what they need to do to make it good enough. It's just whether they want to make it better. Most criticism is valid. I very rarely see a player have one bad game and everyone's going, get out of my club, you're a load of shit. I very rarely see that. It's consistently bad performance. And if you can't handle that, then, you know, it's this pampered blame culture that exists in football now, where they can't deal with it. Enzo Fernandez is coming off. Mudryk is coming on. Sterling is going off. Hi Mark, how did Leicester win the title in 2016? Finished top of the league, sniper. Too many yes men around them, Mark says Stu. Well, look, it's low level stuff, but if I think about what I do and have done for the last 7 years, and some of the lies and nonsense that gets put out there, and some of it's quite vile. When I first started, I wasn't used to it, so it used to impact me quite a lot. And then the funny thing is, the stuff that used to bother me was tame compared to the stuff and the volume of I get now, because obviously it's bigger, so you get more of it. But I don't. It's there. I know it's there, but I don't take any notice of it because I can't get rid of it, and that's just the way of the world. I don't let it bother me or dictate my day or anything like that. So if I was a professional footballer, my mindset would be, well, look, I can silence them. I can be good enough. You know, I can focus on something and I can be better. And ultimately, I'm playing the game. You know, I'm making the money. I'm doing I can block this out. Didn't Southgate use Smalling for a while when he first started as manager, but didn't like his playing style, says Tom B. I think he did, but ultimately he picks Eric Dyer. Mark, how is it possible you British folks can't figure it out with the England national team? You guys have the best talent in the world, says David. FA, 2 letters, FA. All my life, FA, incompetent. All my life. Completely and utterly incompetent people. It's basically sabotage the Football Association. The people they've got in that place are dreadful. There's England should have won something in my lifetime, and ultimately it's the decision. It's the same as what's going on at Chelsea. You can blame Lampard, you can blame the players, but ultimately the decision makers can change it and make right decisions, and they don't. Do you think Liverpool will make top 4, says Reza? No, I do not, and I will show you why. Liverpool will not make top 4, and it's as simple as looking at that league table there. Manchester United and Newcastle have got 65 and 63 points respectively. Liverpool have got 56. If they win all 5 games, which is difficult because they've still got to play Villa, that would put them on 71 points. Newcastle needs 7 from 15 to have more than 71 points, which they will do. And Manchester United need 8 from 18 to get 72 points, which they will do. So Liverpool won't get top 4 because Man United and Newcastle just won't collapse enough for it to happen. And I was looking at some of the fixtures yesterday, and I think Newcastle have got to play Everton and Leeds. No, not Everton. They've got to play Leeds, which is 3 points at St James's Park. So I just don't. Liverpool are going to run out of time. They did it before. I remember Liverpool did it before. People thought they weren't going to get top 4, and they did. But I think they're going to run out of time here. Only 15 minutes to go here. Game's gone very fast. You must be a good chat. Mudryk. Imagine if Arsenal blew this. Tell you what, if Chelsea get another one, it'd be interesting. Well, they've got Madueke scored a goal. I suppose that's a positive. Yannick says, you're spot on with so many aspects on going for Goldbridge a lot, but I have to say we have to be careful regarding depression on people. It can end like Sancho, positive or negative, says Yannick. Well, I can't speak for every football club, but I know Manchester United does a very, very good job around that. Even previous to Sancho, they're very, very good around that. They're very good around that, Manchester United. We might be bad at some things, but we're very good around that. To the extent that United have got people who will actually proactively try and spin positives around individual players, to boost their profile and, things like that. So those sort of things. I don't know what it's like at every club. I think it's more of a problem at lower clubs where they probably don't have the money to invest in that sort of thing. But the margins are so thin in football these days that every little extra you can get, you will give. I don't do Formula 1 streams, Samuel. I mean, basically, I couldn't do Formula 1 watch-alongs because every bloody race clashed with a United game. But I'm not watching it this year as well. I'm bored of it. I'm so bored of it, and it's a shame because I really do like the F1, but it's boring. The Red Bull car is just too quick. Mark, did you see the sweet moment when Eric Ten Hag gave a speech to Garnacho's folks and they embraced afterwards? So nice, says Galari. I did. It was very nice, you're right. Imagine being Mudryk right now, says Kirash. What, loaded? Conor Gallagher's hurt himself there. That might not be great. He's holding his knee. Oh, he's up. He's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, so I don't watch Formula 1 anymore, and I certainly wouldn't do a watch along of it. God no. The Red Bull car is literally Man City, says David. Look, I'm not going to begrudge Red Bull. They've got the best car, and I actually quite liked the Mercedes versus Red Bull competition that led up to that famous cheating moment that won him their Verstappen his first title. But ultimately, Red Bull are benefiting. Fair play to them, but it's just not interesting when you've got one car that's a lot faster than the other. But ultimately, they built it. Fair play. Do you think Chelsea can turn it around long term, says Jack? Yes, I do. I think look at Arsenal and Manchester United this season. Arsenal nearly won a title, and last year they didn't even make top four. They had a bad season last year. They nearly won the league this year. Man United last season, lowest ever Premier League points total. This year, top four, Carabao Cup, FA Cup final. You can turn it around like that. But the lesson there is Arsenal have got the right coach and the right structure. Man United have got the right coach and hopefully will have the right structure. Chelsea have got the resources, a ridiculously imbalanced squad that will be unhappy because there's too many players in certain positions, and they've got an owner that's not making the right decisions. So the most important, if I was a Chelsea fan, you do need a striker, yeah. You probably need to have a look at a couple of other positions as well. But if I was a Chelsea fan and I had a choice to make, my opinion would be this. I want a director of football and a CEO. That's what I want. And I want Todd Bowley to stay out of decisions. Kovacic got booked there, and I actually think he got the ball. Can Liverpool turn it around long term? I like these questions, Joshua. Thank you, Jack, for your super chat, by the way, asking about Chelsea turning it around. Can Liverpool turn it around? Well, Liverpool need to rebuild that team, and I'd be very impressed if Klopp can do it. He's the right man to do it. It's all going to depend about how much money he's got. If he's got enough money to buy 4 or 5 players, then they could be back next season. But I actually think my prediction with the Premier League is this, and this is why Arsenal have had such a good season, by the way. I actually think the competitive nature of the Premier League will mean that even if Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal are good next season, they'll drop points off each other. But Man City are still good enough that they will consistently not drop points. So I think Man City are so good that even if Liverpool and Chelsea get better and Man United get better, the consistency of Man City will still keep them on a different level. Gabriel injured again. Be a tough game. I'd say it'll be a cracking game on Sunday. Newcastle against Arsenal. That was always a game that I thought if Arsenal didn't drop as the points they had, that might be a problem for them. "4:30 on Sunday. Arsenal against Newcastle. I probably will do a watch along for that and then jump straight on to West Ham Man United, because I think it's a good game. It's be a good game. That be a good game. I've played the game. That'll be a good game. That'll be good. 3 games next Monday: Fulham against Leicester, Forest against Southampton, and Brighton against Everton. It's all about the relegation. Oh, AC Milan against Inter Milan, Champions League semi-final. That'd be interesting. You never would have guessed that at the start of the season, would you? You'd never guess an all Serie A semi-final. Who do you think next season West Ham should go for, says Tyler? Tough. Be tough, Tyler. Tonight is exactly 30 years since Man United's first Premier League title. What do you still remember, says Frentas. That season for me just always stands out of the Steve Bruce goals against Sheffield Wednesday. I liked that team. I really did like that team. You know, Hughes, Cantona, Pallister, Bruce, Irwin, Schmeichel, Ince. You know, that team. The amount of teams that Sir Alex built, it's been a joy to see it all. Because obviously the younger generations might not even remember the '99 team. But to have seen them all, it's been great. But obviously that was very special because it was so long since we'd done it. Here they go, Arsenal. Odegaard went for the hat-trick, bit greedy. Why not? 7 minutes to go. I tell you what, I've got a really tight hamstring. Oh, I think I've done my hamstring, you know. I've had a sore hamstring before, but it's normally gone after 2 days. This is really hurting, and it's been like it for about 4 days now, and I don't even know how I did it. At my age, it could be anything. It could be sitting down to have a poo. You just don't know. I've never had injuries. Never had them. This hamstring thing really does hurt. Gabriel's down injured again. I've done a Klopp. Done a Klopp. It really does not. It's really not nice. Goldbridge out for 4 weeks. Yeah. Why didn't Thomas Partey play tonight? Injured. Won't it be strange seeing Everton play in the Championship, says Kenneth? Well, it will be, considering that they'll get their new stadium in the Championship. When do they get their new stadium? Is it... Somebody said January last night. Who do I think is going to win the Champions League? City. Mark, what will happen to City if Pep leaves, says Wilmer? They're just going to get... They're going to get the best they can get. Who do you think is the best Eriksen replacement, says Tito? I don't think we need to replace him at the moment. Are Chelsea playing second in the better half? Better in the second half compared to the first half? Yeah, but I think Arsenal have just gone through the motions a little bit. Best signing for Newcastle? I've been very impressed. I'd say Bruno Guimaraes, really. But I nearly said Isaac, but I think Bruno Guimaraes. And they've had a few. You know, Trippier's been very good for them. Botman's been very good for them. But I think Bruno Guimaraes would be my pick. Yeah. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We are only 200 away from 948,000. Getting closer to 950. Then we'll be on the final 50 to a million. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Get involved in the movement on That's Football. You're all welcome. We do take the piss, but it's only banter. Don't worry. It doesn't matter who you support. It's been Leeds today. You can check my video out about Leeds appointing Sam Allardyce on the home channel. Yeah, I think it's. I don't think it's going to work. I really don't. I think it's like putting. It's like having a brand new diesel car, running out of diesel, and then pissing in it and thinking it's going to get you home. It ain't going to work. But we can't predict the future, and sometimes we do get things wrong. Are you doing a watch along tomorrow, says Thomas? No, because it's Man City West Ham. We haven't got the Liverpool game on the telly, so I'm not going to do West Ham again. As I said in the first half, it was a good line, so I'll repeat it. I'm not doing a watch along for Man City at home to West Ham because it's like an Easter egg fighting a blowtorch, and Man City are the blowtorch. That'll be 4 or 5-0. That will. I just can't. I can say Man City are fantastic and leave it at that, but I can't watch Man City battering somebody. Mark, how can you compare Southgate to Lampard? Southgate is a hood manager. Look at the football England played in the World Cup, says Eaton. Thanks, Gareth. Only Gareth Southgate could come up with an alias where he uses a conservative, posh name like Eaton. Gareth, you've got this alias thing all wrong. Call yourself Shirley Temple or something like that. Don't call yourself Eaton as an alias pretending to be somebody else. Anyway, you won. Who's better, Lampard or Southgate? 70% for Southgate. There you go. That's how bad people think Lampard is. Fancy calling yourself Eaton, Gareth. You're making it too easy. Still waiting for pundits to give opinions on Lampard. They had all the opinions for De Zerbi even before he took the job. English bias, says Kate. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to do a quick match reaction after this about that. Don't worry about that. We'll get a quick one up. That's what she said. What other hobbies do you have, Mark, says KGM? My main hobby at the moment is pool, because I've got a pool table. So I play a lot of pool because I find it relaxing. I spend a lot of time sat down, and if you think about pool, it's a very good stretchy sport, isn't it? Because you're bending over, you're stretching your hamstrings, you're stretching your back, you're moving around a little bit. So I play quite a lot of pool. I'd like to play snooker, but I'm not rich enough to have a snooker table. So Cameron Wilson says I pulled my groin once playing football. Is that something else you were pulling? Yeah. I play a little bit of football, but probably can't now. Chelsea need to sim the rest of their games, says K-Flow. And your poll question is the equivalent of asking me whether I'd rather be shot or stabbed, says Stephen Rossi. Yeah, it is. It's a bit like saying, would you rather get eaten by a great white shark or a polar bear? For me, they're my two biggest nemesis, and I can't win, and it would be a gruesome death. I always thought if I was in the water, deep, and I looked 40 meters away, and there's a massive shark, you know what I'd do? Coming towards me. I know it's going to eat me. I've had too many dreams And I've watched Jaws too many times that shark's just going to swim past and go, it's already, I've already had a couple of seals, you're all right. It's definitely going to eat me. You know what I'd try and do? I'd try and drown myself. And I bet you can't do it. I'd desperately try and drown myself quickly so that the shark didn't have the satisfaction. But, yeah. What do you think would be worse, a polar bear or a shark? I think a shark might be quicker. Polar bear would be... yeah. Because their mouth's not as big and they've got claws. What would I do to try and save myself from a polar bear? Well, you can't even climb a bloody tree because they can climb trees. Apparently they're really quick as well. Apparently a polar bear is quicker than Usain Bolt. I can't believe that. I can't believe that's true. Somebody just said if you're on land, you'll be fine. Somebody just said a polar bear would torture you. Oh, they're horrible, aren't they? This is why I'm not really into guns, but at least if you got one, it's a leveler. I never understood in that film Jaws, actually. You know when they're shooting the shark and it won't kill it? I'm pretty much sure if you shoot the shark with one of those guns, like they do in Jaws, in their head, it's dead. I think that's inaccurate in Jaws. Polar bear is the only animal that actively hunts humans. This has turned into a sinister show now. I'm definitely going to have a dream tonight about a polar bear and a shark that can talk. I just hope they give me an AK-47. I wish Sky would cut out the race to title crap. I know they got to make the title race seem competitive to attract viewership, but it's over. Carragher calling Everton a potential banana skin for Man City is laughable, says Robbo. This is the trouble now. 20 years ago, people would fall for it, but football fans are far more... I wouldn't say football fans are more educated. I just think there's just so much more going on. Yeah, Abraham says polar bears can swim anyway. Mark, you're obsessed with Jaws, says James. You know why I'm obsessed with Jaws? Because when I was 4, I got made to watch it by my uncle. It's abuse, actually, but you could get away with that sort of stuff in the 80s. Some of the stuff you could get away with in the 80s was disgraceful. Forcing kids to watch Jaws at 4. 4. I hated the music. I'd cry. If I heard that music, I'd cry. All the way up until about 32. How to deal with unwanted, intrusive thoughts, please, says Ezio. Think of something that you really like. I know what you mean. I sometimes get it when I'm going to sleep and I start thinking about polar bears that can talk. And it messes me up. But then I start thinking about group activities that I'd enjoy. And suddenly I feel a lot better. You know, 5-a-side. Yeah, you know what? You lot are filthy. Are you scared about snakes? Snakes don't bother me much. I mean, lots of things can kill you. Snakes, spiders, falling down the stairs. You know, it's not the death thing that scares me. It's just I don't like sharks and I don't like polar bears. You know, being killed by one of them little pigs with horns would probably be the most painful thing. Man City on TV despite 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, says Robert McCormack. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight, by the way. Please do subscribe. I'm going to do a quick match reaction because I really want to talk about this sort of English bias towards Lampard. The game has just finished. Don't forget, tonight though, we were sponsored by Boohoo Man. A lot of people said they quite liked the hoodie I'm wearing. This is from Boohoo Man. You can get 40% off with the code Goldbridge by scanning the QR code. And they've got gym wear and all sorts, but 40% off delivered to your door. Fantastic stuff. Use the code Goldbridge. And also, if you've enjoyed the polar bear chats and the Easter eggs and all that sort of stuff we've been talking about, that's basically a hint of what the live show's like, you know. And we are live in Dublin on June the 6th. So if you're in Ireland or fancy a trip there or whatever, and you fancy coming along to the Goldbridge live show in Dublin on June the 6th, we've still got some tickets available. Links in the live chat. Get yourself there. It'd be great to see you. Are these group activities with Kev? No. That I don't speak to that Kev anymore. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you in a bit.